Good morning.
Good morning, Maddie.
Thank you. All right. So
morning.
without further ado, we're starting a little bit. Oh, thank you from virtual land. I can hear you. Right on. All right. So without further ado, we're going to bring up the GOAT herself, Dr. Eva Bagg.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I need tips, so I'm going to rely on Maddie and Anissa to keep me in this mode of having a good time. So I want to thank you all for indulging me, and that's one of my favorite songs. And when I first heard it, it just really made me think of Barstow and the students we serve, underdogs that we serve. We can sometimes think of ourselves at Barstow Community College as the underdog, but we are the fierce underdog that always rises up to the challenge. And that's going to be part of what I want to talk to you about a little bit this morning. But I'm so happy to see so many of you. The energy this morning was so great. The first person that I saw this morning when I was walking towards my office was Joanna Escalante, who was she just made me feel so great about the day because she's so excited. A lot of work was put into preparing this in-service today. A little bit unusual, right? Because we usually have this event and then classes start. So things have changed this year. So I know it was a lot of extra effort preparing for week of welcome next week. Classes already going, helping students, and then also preparing this for our staff, our faculty, and for administration. So thank you for all of the effort that went into this. I'm really appreciative of it to make it a really great start for us coming back all together. So I want to begin just to acknowledge and thank really the consistent guiding body of Barstow Community College. That's our Board of Trustees. In a moment, I'll welcome our board president, Paul Wilkie, but I want to also make sure that everybody also gives a big welcome to Carmen Hernandez. She's sitting over here. Many of you probably know Carmen. She's been in Barstow since the 60s. She and her husband, she has dedicated so much public service to this community. She's done so many great things. And when the need arose for our college with the vacancy that Tim Hayden left on our board, she graciously stepped up and she's just been wonderful. Didn't miss a beat. She really understands how boards operate and has been a strong supporter of the college and was here years ago as well. So we're just very grateful to you, Carmen. Thank you. I'd be remiss to not mention also our other trustees who weren't able to make it, but I know they'll be zooming in and always a constant support. Dr. Ted Baca, Fernando Baca, and Phil Harris. They weren't able to be here, but I just want you to all know how dedicated they are. They read the board reports that many of you work on so hard every month because they really care to know what's going on at the college. And there's lots of difficult decisions and guidance that they continuously dedicate to our college. And I just want to also take a second to acknowledge, I was thinking, the last time that I was standing here speaking to an audience in this great performing arts center was the service for Tim Hayden. That was last January. And, he's left such a big hole in our community and our college. And he'll never be forgotten. But I just wanted to make sure that our appreciation from all of us continues to be recognized. So with that, I would now like to welcome Board President Wilkie, if you'd like to say a few words to everybody here today.
Morning, everyone. How is everybody doing today?
Woohoo!
My license plate on my big black truck says Vader's Daddy. So I'm going to peel back a little bit of the onion for you guys because I want you to see, because there's many different perceptions that we can get on the outside looking at a person's appearance what they drive, where they live, how they do. It's just a natural tendency. So the reason my license plate says Vader's Daddy is, number one, I'm a Star Wars fan, not a Star Wars geek or guru, just a fan. I just remember standing in line, 7 years old, waiting for, you know, the gates to open at the movie theaters and watch this epic, different movie that was unlike anything else. But that's when I fell in love with Star Wars. And because there is no known character or being for Anakin Skywalker's dad, I figured I would just assume that title. And if somebody wants to take it from me, they're more than willing to take it from me. I was talking to Michelle Henderson yesterday, and I told her, I said, if there was a class that the college would teach at SSL, sarcasm as a second language, I could teach that class very well. So I'm a little bit of a weird guy, a nut. I preached a sermon about a month ago. It was on Father's Day at my church. I was wearing this same shirt, but I was wearing blue tactical pants. And one of the fellow educators in the community saw that sermon and kind of commented, I've never seen somebody wear a Hawaiian shirt and tactical pants and preach. So that's just I'm just kind of a weird dude, but I really have a heart for this community. Like many of you, I see many of you out in the community, whether you're helping with a concert that I kind of helped put on here, you volunteered here, you spent extra time and effort in doing that, whether you help in local soccer, youth organizations, sponsor racing events. I see those things, and it makes me feel good to be a part of this community. I met with one of my wife's high school. She went to Silver Valley High School. We met with one of her friends recently in DC, and she asked me the question, why do you still live in Barstow? Why do you still put so much effort in the community? She goes, you could live anywhere. You could be very successful somewhere else. So the answer to that question is, if not me, then who? Like we had that service for Tim Hayden. The amount of work that man did in this community, 10 people couldn't do what he did in this community. If not him, then who? So I challenge us as we continue to do what we do, being involved in our community, volunteering with youth, volunteering at a food pantry, even handing out food pantry here, even helping out with housing insecurities, helping out with mental awareness, helping in encouraging students. We have students here that have grown up in foster care system, right? We have students here that have grown up and not known parents. We have students here that have taken care of their parents for such a long time, they didn't have time to educate themselves, and now they are taking that leap to get an education to better their lives. We have those things. We have that shining moment to be a better person for Barstow. If not us, then who, right? So I challenge you to continue. If you see trash, yes, pick it up. Even though nobody's watching, nobody's looking. The masks on the ground, please leave them alone. I don't even pick those up, right? And if you see my truck that says Vader's Daddy, don't roll your eyes. It's just my weird personality, okay? It's okay. And I had a gentleman, I was meeting with Dr. Bagg. I think we were meeting for like 2 hours yesterday, and I was running late, got back to the office, walked into the office after I grabbed a sandwich from home. And the gentleman said, I said, hey, it's been a long time. How are you? And he says, yeah, it must be nice to come in at noon. And I'm like, wow, okay, let me recount nope, just let it go. Sometimes the work that you do behind the scenes, in the quiet, in the lone, doesn't get counted for. We realize that. But sometimes we see it on this side and appreciate the work that you do. It's really appreciative of the work that you guys continue to do, not just here at Barstow College, but in our community. And I just wanted to encourage you and thank you for doing that work and being a part of the best thing going in our community. Carmen realized that when she came aboard, and she, like other people in our community, said, I see a need, I want to help fill that need, and she did. And then the light bulb came on and she was like, oh my goodness, you guys are doing great things at Barstow College. And we will forever have her support in the community. I know she's going to go on to do other things, but you guys have shined that light of what's going on here, and she sees it, and she'll continue to champion Barstow Community College out in this community. So thank you. I encourage you guys to continue to do what you're doing. It's much appreciated from this trustee, from this community volunteer, self-employed, union, grandfather, all those titles. And yes, Vader's daddy.
Thank you, Paul. I didn't know that. I didn't know that's why your license plate said that, so I'm glad that we do.
It's not arrogant.
So obviously there's a lot of community spirit in Barstow, and on that note, I also wanted to acknowledge another really important group of people who are and have for a very long time been so supportive of our college, and that's our Barstow College Foundation. I'm not sure who of the directors are here today, and they might be in Zoom land, I'm not sure, but the president, Elaine Villarreal, maybe she's in Zoom. Executive Director, Melanie Burnau. And I do know that I saw Mr. Juan Rivera, a new foundation director, is here this morning. So thank you very much. There's a lot of really great things with the foundation. They've been around for a very long time, providing scholarships for our students, and more recently branching out to some really innovative kinds of ways to support our students and our community. And hopefully I'll have a minute to kind of give you a brief understanding of what's happening with the foundation. And I think I'm going to have to be brief because I know we're looking at the time. I've got about 10 minutes, so I'm just going to be real adaptive here. This is unusual for me. Those of you who know I have a research background, I usually like to have lots of data, and I've said, nope, this is a really different kind of a day. It's a different kind of in-service, and really, I kind of want to just talk to you, and just kind of give you a sense of, the thoughts and the mindset of the person who loves working for this college, for this community. It's difficult. I'm entering my 6th year, and it's a lot to navigate, but I thank you. It's my privilege. So just to give you a sense in a short amount of time, kind of where my head is at. But before I do that, listen to this. Okay, before I do that, I still am going to show you some data. So hopefully this clicker is working, because I thought, really there's been so much effort coming back to campus. We still have COVID. We're still being really flexible because we have to be. We have to make sure that the safety of everybody is our #1 priority. And I'm not going to dwell on that. We've been through this. We keep forging ahead. And I just want to thank everybody for being here, for being flexible, mostly for our students. And it's showing, and hopefully I'm getting there we go. We're getting students to come back, right? So I wanted to give you an update real quickly, right, on our numbers. I'm sorry, I can't see that, but I do have the data here, and I want to acknowledge Lisa Holmes and Heather Meinhardt for providing us this data fresh off the press last night. So it's really interesting, right? You can see that fall 19, that's pre-pandemic, our head count was over 3,000. We're not there yet, but look, interestingly, our enrollments are more than they were last fall at this, at the end of the term. Our units are more than they were last fall. So you can see there's kind of an interesting pattern. It kind of feels as though students are coming back and maybe trying to make up for lost time. They're taking more units per student on average. So 9.7 so far this fall. And you can see our FTES, full-time equivalent students. That's the thing, right? We've been really trying to make sure that we get those up. You're doing a great job, everybody. You can see we're almost to 900 FTES, and this is the first 9 week, and we have the second 9 week to keep encouraging students to come back. So this is very promising. We're not there yet. I don't know if some of you may have heard at some of the board meetings I've been sharing. Last summer was actually the biggest summer we have had in many, many years. So for me, that's really promising. So good news. A testament to all of your hard work. Briefly, I also want to just mention that our budget for the current year, it's looking pretty strong at the moment, right? You may have heard some of that news. Fiscally, we look okay. However, everybody knows with inflation, we know there's a recession around the corner. We've been given one more year, that COVID emergency allowance, to backfill our FTES, which drives our apportionment, which is most of where we get our budget. We've been given one more year. We just recently got that news. So it gives us a little bit more of a breather to recover the students that we lost. And I know everybody is working really hard towards that end. So just to say that it's looking very positive, but we have to be cautiously optimistic, and just keep on moving forward, keep on providing just the great welcoming experience that you provide for our students to keep them coming, and hopefully more on campus. On that note, I did want to share with you some of the recent data also with regard to, really, I think this is mostly an indication of what students are still looking for, right? A lot of online. I think it says 81% fully online. It's normally a little over 50. So I know that we've been offering more in-person classes, but monitoring the enrollments, we've got to shift to what students are asking for. And I think mostly, again, such an amazing IT instructional design group that allows us to be flexible and do these hybrid courses in our HyFlex classes. I want to just thank IT for all of that. And I also want to really thank our faculty who have embraced new technology at this college historically. We have the most amazing reputation for our online program. That is what is serving us well. That makes me really confident about our future. So I just wanted to thank you and just let you know kind of where things are landing right now with regard to student choices. So this is positive, but I want to just make a few comments this morning. I'm generally a very optimistic person. I have a lot of hope. I see a bright future for the college. But for those of you who know me, I'm also very data oriented, and I don't like to, just rest on laurels or just, think it's going to be good because we will it so. I look to, really what's the information that makes me very optimistic about the future of Barstow Community College, but at the same time, information that I feel that we cannot ignore, that for me personally is kind of, it's the driving force behind all of the efforts that I think you've noticed towards us being a very innovative, adaptive college, because I think that is what the country is looking for, the state is looking for, our community is looking for. So I want to share a little bit about that. But first, to really let you know what I'm looking at that makes me feel so confident that if there's any college in the state of California that's going to be able to recover from the pandemic, respond to a continued concern in the public about the value of higher education, I really believe it's Barstow Community College. So let me just share a few things why I feel so strongly about that. First of all, looking at what we did last year, right? Still in the pandemic. Look at the volume of graduates and certificate completions and honors. And that's all a testament of your work with our students. So, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day, right? Commencement, those students achieving their goals. So there's that. It's great. What I worry about, though, in terms of still what's ahead for us, it's really it's our Barstow community, right? When you go down Main Street, you still see so many businesses closed up. There's still so much joblessness. So many small businesses have had to close their doors, and I know many of you are aware of that. Housing shortages. It's hard to get people to come here because they can't find houses. I know it's on the horizon, more housing developments. It's really hard for companies to come here, right? Because of all of these things. California regulations in and of themselves make it really hard for companies to decide to come here. We're always looking for growth, economic opportunity, jobs for our students. The other thing that we hear from our employers is that it's not just Barstow, it's really all of the Inland Empire. They see this area as a place where we are relatively undereducated in terms of, higher education, and we are very underskilled. So what does that say? That says that it's us, it's community colleges that are really the ones that we're looking towards to be able to provide a trained workforce. It's all part of a system. It's a cycle that has been going downward for quite some time. But we all know we're working like crazy. We've got an amazing CTE area, new programs, lots of focus. You can see in the outcomes on skills certificates, non-credit, to really meet the needs of our community and really our region. And I will tell you, we have been noted in a number of environments as really, even though we're small and we're more remote than our sister college down the hill, we're doing amazing things. I'm almost outside. I can't even believe it. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna, this is something that I'm worried about, you guys. I'm worried about, this is, I pulled this data from the Chancellor's office. Okay, this is California community colleges for about 3 decades. And you can see, generally, the pandemic is something that we've been focused on. We've lost enrollment. We've got to increase and get back the students that we lost, yes. But really, when we look at the bigger picture, everybody, 2008, we were at the peak in our system in California for community colleges. But you can see we've been on a downward trend, pretty flat. This is the data that I worry about, because this speaks to me from a data perspective, a state perspective, that enrollments in the community colleges are declining. We're also hearing locally, we've got staff here who have children in Barstow who are saying, for young people, why get a college degree? It looks really bleak for a lot of our young people. Why get a degree? I'm not going to get a job. I'm going to have a student loan debt. I'm never going to be able to afford a house. That's the mindset. And I want to tell you that even though we fully understand the value of a college degree or a certificate, and all of our colleagues in the state of California, we're always talking to one another. We know the value that we deliver, but I'm here to tell you not everybody sees that. That's what I want to change. I want people, at least in Barstow, to know that we really do add value, and it's our job to do better at demonstrating that we are relevant, that education, higher education is relevant, that in your classes, students are learning the skills that they need to communicate in the way that they need to, that employers keep telling us they're not prepared. They're not prepared to even understand the discipline of coming to work on time. They don't have the skills. So the message hasn't gotten out yet. They're questioning the value of what we provide. So when you see, Eva, really out there and trying to push us to be innovative, to meet the needs, to demonstrate our relevance, that's why, because I want this college to have a long future and to continue to be one of the leaders in our community to promote the lifestyle, the quality of living, the value of what our students and our residents can realize by working with us, by coming here, whether it's online or actually here on campus. So That's what I'm worried about. But I got to tell you, just going to say, some of the amazing accomplishments over the last 2 years make me so proud of the things that all of you have been doing. And I'm going to rush through this as quickly as I can. I know I'm going to be missing some things. So at our all college, I'll probably be saying more about some of these things. But first of all, the way that we're attending to students' basic needs, right? The food pantry, been doing it for a while. Now we're going out to Fort Irwin. Mental health. Dr. Banton, you have been amazing. Everybody, you need to know, right? Last year, I don't know if you saw some of the news releases, but in the nation, competing with not just community colleges, but colleges and universities, Barstow College was one of the colleges recognized for an Active Minds Award, and that's because of the work Dr. Banton is leading. And with some of our counselors and other support staff with our mindful space and demonstrating that it's not just the physical wellness of students that matters, but it's really leaning in and recognizing the mindset, the vulnerability, the trauma that so many of our students have faced. And we're learning from Dr. Banton all the time how to be better at attuning ourselves to those needs and really helping students, and it's making a huge difference. So there's that. There's also a project that I was really proud of, and some people went way outside their normal work. It was we won an innovation award from Growing Indolent Achievement. It was a creative confidence project, and it was Barstow Community College reaching out to some junior high school African-American males to give them an opportunity for real immersive learning and mentoring and community support. And I want to just say, Elena Rivera, thank you so much for all that you did to partner with those kids and their parents and the community. Last spring, those students' work was showcased in the Black Box, and we had visitors from Redlands. Garner Holt, the founder of Garner Holt, was here. People from San Bernardino County Schools. We had people from Barstow Community. The funder, GIA themselves, were here, and we're so amazingly impressed with what we did. And that was just the beginning. There's going to be so much learning from that project that other people are going to look to see how we look at our youth and the potential of our youth. Not at risk so much or in a negative way, just the positives that can come from those young people if we look at them and deal with them and support them in the way that they deserve and have such amazing potential. I also want to point out, and I'm sorry I'm skipping around a little bit because I'm rushing, but a few years ago, this college got a competitive grant to help our homeless and homeless insecure students. This, again, we were out the gate. Now there's more regular support from the chancellor's office to all the community colleges, but we were one of the first to step out. And I don't know if Shannon Batchev is here right now, but she's doing an amazing job. Shannon, thank you. We read the reports that you submit about the number of students that you are serving and helping to provide that basic need of housing, and keep up the great work. Thank you so much. It's just a testament of, again, I'm trying to let you all understand the way in which this college, even though we're small and remote, we have not shied from opportunities to go after competitive grants, and we are winning them, and we are implementing them in ways that people are asking us, how are you doing it, Barstow? So that's why I'm pretty certain that even though this is the threat, we have so much potential and capacity to be able to respond and continually demonstrate our relevance. What else do I want to say? I'm going to just, because I don't want to be taking too much time. Maddie and Anissa are back here, but I just want to say, okay. Thank you for that. I know a lot of today is about guided pathways, right? It's on the agenda. We've been talking about it for quite some time. And here's another thing. I just want to point out why Barstow College needs to be proud about your work in guided pathways, okay? So first of all, in the nation, it was in 2015 that a book came out called Redesigning America's Community Colleges, A Clear Path to Student Success. It was a book written by primarily Thomas Bailey and his colleagues of researchers at Columbia College, the Teachers College. There's a research center, Community College Research Center. And they were just, looking at the data, looking at the challenges that community colleges across the nation have in really promoting completions, right? And we've all known it in California. For a long time, we've been incentivized just to get FTS, students in butts in seats, right? Without really the focus on actually getting that degree, that certificate, and transferring and getting jobs. It was more just keeping them here. As you all know, the Student Success Act, the way that we're being funded now more on student completions, that has been a movement. And really, Guided Pathways it came out of that book from 2015. It was a framework that's been adopted around the country. It became big in California. There's all kinds of conferences and consultants that are helping the colleges. But, it's a pretty straightforward framework, and it's just really about making it clear to students about our educational opportunities, working on the curriculum to make that more structured and streamlined. And I got to say to our faculty, our curriculum committee, our counselors, and our staff supporting curriculum, we all know it was the great curriculum reset at Barstow Community College. We did a lot of that work that's really Guided Pathways then and there, right? I was so amazed how our faculty were so willing to modify the curriculum for the good of students, and at other colleges, they're still debating the question about even the need to do that. So although you may have heard and it may have felt like we're lagging in Guided Pathways, I tell you, I know we are not. And one of the metrics that the Chancellor's Office uses as a lagging indicator of whether or not the whole framework of Guided Pathways is working, one of those measures is the average number of units it takes for a student to get a degree or certificate. And I'm here to tell you that Barstow Community College is one of the lowest. I think it's, Lisa, is it 72 or 74? 72. I'm looking at other colleges and they're setting goals of 76 or 78. So that tells me we're already doing Guided Pathways, everybody, and you're doing a great job. So yeah. Today we're going to have a lot more work so we can see really, I think the emphasis is to help everybody understand the work that you've already been doing has been contributing to Guided Pathways. We've just not been flagging it that way. There is more work to do, yes, but that's just a refinement. We're already well on our way. So I want you all to know that. It's not like we've got some time to make up or big things to fix. You already did that. You did that 2 years ago with the curriculum reset, and we have such an amazing student support services staff that have just naturally been inclined towards looking at when students drop off, when they need help, supporting them in all the ways that's required to keep them along to completion, to transfer, to getting a job. And you've been doing that anyways. You've been doing Guided Pathways work. So I'm very optimistic about our work. I'm very excited about all of the recognition that our college has been receiving. And that's not an ego thing for us. For me, it's just, it's the energy for us to keep going. And we just do the work because it's the right thing to do for our students. It's really great that we're being acknowledged at the national level, at the state level. But really, that's just to remind us all that we've got a great little college here. And that great little college is really, it's a great facility, yes, but the heart and soul is each and every one of you sitting in these chairs today, classified staff, faculty, an amazing management team, the cabinet, our board of trustees, and our college foundation. So really just thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing such great work. Thank you for staying on this path and not resting on our laurels, not burying our heads in the sand when we look at this and we really pay attention to what the outside world is telling us. It's telling us we're not so sure about higher education anymore. We know that Barstow Community College grads provides great value and will continue to provide even more value with your help. So thank you. I hope you have a really fun day, and and thank you for not kicking me off. So thanks, everybody. Have a lot of fun. I really appreciate your time and attention.